Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And today's question is, what do women think of men who leave their home countries to seek love in foreign lands? Well, apparently there's quite a war of words going on between a certain segment of Western women and men who pursue international relationships. It seems there's a lot of animosity against these guys, with name-calling and outrageous accusations. The conflict centers around a movement called the Passport Bros, who are typically black guys who have gotten fed up with the situation in the West and decided to look elsewhere for a happy life. Now, even though the Passport Bros are mostly African Americans, I think you'll recognize the same tactics being used to shame any guy who dares to dream of finding a better mate overseas.
For the last 2 years, the Passport Bros movement, it almost seems taboo. People are very hostile towards these particular black men, and for good reason, according to some. And that reason is these quote unquote undesirable men are leaving the United States to participate in perpetual sex tourism. And we've all seen the videos, we've all seen the commentary. But really what we started to see indirectly was racism. Racism towards who? The women in the countries that these men are going to. Now, I want to talk about, black women, because these are the people who are typically making these videos. If you talk down on black women as a whole, they're very offended by that, and they'll let you know, right? Don't disrespect black women. Don't talk about body shaming. Don't talk about weaves. Don't talk about these things. And for good reason, I can understand it, because black women want to become, and they are a protected group. But I've noticed that for these black men who are going to some of these countries, albeit some of the third world, Brazil, DR, Thailand, the Philippines, a lot of women talk about these ladies in these countries as if they're just thirsty for money. They're all prostitutes. They don't have a mind to decide. They'll do anything for a green card. Things like that, right? Which is inherently, in certain cases, considered racist. Now, before I get to the main topic, Brother Ed Travels talked about this in one of his videos. And what I'd like to do is play what he had to say and come back.
And that brings me to the second point, foreign women, because this is one that people love to chime in on, both men and women. Number one, how many of you have actually been to the country and met those women that you're talking about? I'd love to hear that. How many of you have been there? You bashing Brazilian women, Colombian women, Dominican women, Asian women. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been there? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Number two, this is not so much a black man, foreign woman thing. It's a black culture here in America and a culture in that country. And I'll explain that. Number one, a huge amount of women here, not just black women, I'm not going to just say one group, but predominantly women here are raised to be independent. Have your own money, your own car, own house, all of that. Get your master's, your PhD degree, this and that, all of that. So all through her childbearing years and all of that, she's focused on a degree. And then after she gets all the material things, now it's time for her to fit a man in her life, to follow by her rules, her expectations, her demands. Whereas in a foreign country, culturally, from the time she's a little girl, she's raised to be a wife. Facts. She's raised to be a wife. Loving, nurturing, accommodating, cooperative. And for all those people that say, oh, these are weak women that they running over, calling them out their names. You ever go to Southeast Asia, you go to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and see how those Asian women work. They run all the food stalls, the restaurant, the massage parlors. They staff the hotels, the cleaning staff. They're the ones that are driving that economy. And to call them weak is just totally rude and disingenuous because you've never been there. They keep that country going and take care of their families. But that foreign woman is raised to be a wife. She's far from weak. Doctors, lawyers, all of that. But see, her idea of success and happiness in life is totally different from a lot of women here.
Now, in his videos, F 'em and Fly, a passport bro speaks out. He talks about this in great detail. He tells these ladies who are criticizing these women, you've never been to these countries. You don't know the culture. You know, just because you feel like in America you can work and you know that you're better than man, that doesn't mean that the women of these other cultures feel the same way. And I think that's important. But now what is happening is a lot of women in the Asian community are saying that the commentary towards shaming women in other countries, it is representative of Asian hate. And that is because these women are upset that these Asian women are wanting to deal with black men, these passport men. Okay? And I want to play a particular clip from the Filipina P. You might have seen the first clip, but she makes a great point on this, and then we'll come back.
The passport bros are dehumanizing women to the point of basically being used for their uterus and domestic capacity. The passport bros want to put them to work in the bedroom and the home.
Ah, yes, the claim that the guys are coming over here so they can turn women into slaves and force us to work in the bedroom while they impregnate us. Diabolical. You seem to think we're mindless idiots with no will of our own. We might be traditional women, but we're not empty-headed. You may not know this, but in the Philippines, women actually have quite a bit of say-so in the household. Just talk to some of the foreigners that are married to us. But I suppose you know my culture better than I do, right? And as far as turning us into incubators, you've got that completely backwards. 99% of the time, it's the Filipina begging the foreigner to have a baby. Where are you getting this stuff from?
We know that there have been some Asian hate incidents in America, especially after COVID. And I believe that a lot of the women who are against the passport bros were definitely on the side of these, the Asian community when they were receiving, hate incidents and, people upset with them for no reason. But now when it came to the black men leaving for these same ladies, all of a sudden, some of them may have switched sides, had a problem with it. And the problem is not these foreign women. They have no dog in the fight. Even the Filipino piece says that, look, we like American men and the Filipino women want to have babies by these guys. So it's not the fact that these black men are going over there. It's not the women's fault. The fault is the two parties in the United States. I'm not blaming black men or black women, but it's the relationship that can't get along. So to go out there and insult these women who don't know you, who have done nothing to you, who are not getting on social media talking about black women, they're not talking about bonnets, they're not talking about weaves or sandals, they're not saying anything. So why are these black women out here saying that? That's the question, right? I think that we all want to know, why is that the case? Yet we've been seeing it going down, right? And again, what it looks like to me and other black men is that, okay, a lot of you sisters out here who are upset, it would appear that you're insecure. Because if that's a black man that are saying the same thing about a black woman, you guys are wanting to get his page shut down. But it's completely okay to say all these women are poor, these women are all users, when if somebody says it about black women, you're upset. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.